everyone, I'm Najwa, you're awesome, and this is Speak Up Junior. So today I'll be talking about conflict resolution in a story. What is a resolution in a story? So the resolution is the part in the story's plot where the main character solves the problem and work it out. The resolution occurs after the following action and is usually where the story ends. Here's an example. So just now, you had a conflict where you and your friend had a fight and now you guys have to come to the same conclusion. That is resolution. You solve the problem between your friend and you. Thus, you get a conflict resolution in the story. Moving on, why is resolution important? So imagine this, kids. You are reading a murder mystery, but at the end, the author did not reveal who the murderer is. Will you not be frustrated or mad? Thus, this shows that resolution is important because it clears the main conflict of the story. A story needs resolution because the readers would like to know what happened to the characters. It will give the readers a sense of satisfaction. It is an aftermath of the climax that describes its impact. Let's move on how to write a resolution. So you have to make sure that the main character learns something valuable from the conflict. Here's an example. Elsa realized that she could not save Arendelle alone and she needs Anna to help her. By realizing this, Elsa realized that two is better than one and it is okay to share some of her burden to those who she trusts. So now moving on to how to write an effective ending. So in literary fiction, a good ending has certain elements that leaves readers satisfied, meaning that the story has come to an end and the character has received their main goal. So firstly is resolution. As I said before, it is important, right? So an ending must always spread up and resolve the central conflict you laid out in the beginning of the novel. A reader should walk away with a feeling that the story is complete. For example, if the story is about a prince whose mission is to kill a dragon and save the world, then you guys should mention that the prince successfully killed the dragon and saved the world at the end of the story. Secondly is transformation. A story's ending should bring a powerful close to your character's development. The main character has learned valuable lessons along the way and the ending should illustrate their transformation. For example, if the story is about a boy who is being caught red-handed for stealing things, then at the end, the writer can illustrate that the boy learns the lesson after being caught and promises not to steal again. Thirdly is suspense or leave room for interpretation. Some great endings are open-ended. When you leave your ending open, you get the reader talking, thinking, and looking for an answer. However, at the end of the story, the writer should resolve the character's quest. So you guys can refer back to the first element. The character quest means that central conflict which is being laid down in the story. Even if you guys wanted to leave a cliffhanger at the end, do remember to resolve the central conflict you guys laid down. Have you kids watched Harry Potter before? If you do, then you'll understand the reference, but if you don't, it's okay, no worries, you will still understand it. So this type of ending can be seen in J.K. Rowling's book, which is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So at the end of the book, Harry managed to defeat his nemesis, which is Professor Quirrell. However, the reader knows that this fight will not end as long as Lord Voldemort exists. So this ending teases J.K. Rowling's next book. Last but not least, surprise! So how to make your readers attracted to the story that you wrote? The answer is to make them feel entertained by your story. To make them feel entertained, do remember to insert the elements of surprise. Satisfying endings always have an element of surprise. Predictable endings will make a great story, but it will fall flat. So we need to insert some unpredictable element. But keep in mind that the ending still needs to follow the action that came before it, which means that it must be related to the storyline. Please keep in mind that do not add any new information which is not related to the storyline ending. So now, how to write a good ending. So here are 6 guidelines for writing an effective ending. Firstly, knowing your ending before you start writing. When you first begin writing your novel, know how your story will end. While the fine details might change, having a sense of what happens to the character will help guide your writing. Knowing the outcome will help you drop narrative clues, but no spoilers, so a reader can easily accept the outcome when they reach the last page. Secondly, try different endings on 4 sides. As you outline your story, map out your character's journey and the different possible ways the story could end. What emotions does each option evoke? Which means that what type of emotion you wanted your reader to feel in the ending. Your character might come full circle, back to normal life they knew before. You can also create a surprise ending. Stir the storyline in one direction, then reverse course. The unsuspecting reader will realize that the clues were in front of them the whole time. For example, in a thriller, indirectly point to one suspect and then reveal a killer that was hidden in plain sight all along. Thirdly, build tension in the lead up to the end. Before you get to the climax, create suspense by making it seem like the main character might not succeed. Throw in a plot twist that stacks the odds against your main character. The last-minute suspense will make the payoff even more satisfying. For example, when we play games, the last stage, which is the boss, will normally be the hardest stage for us to overcome. But when we win the game, we will feel very satisfied. The same principle applies when we write story. The main character must encounter the hardest challenge before the ending, and then only the reader will feel excited or satisfied when the character succeeds. Fourthly, ensure that your ending makes sense. Whether you're writing a thriller, a romance novel, or a science fiction, the ending to your story must be the result of a logical progression of the plot and your character's actions. Avoid from adding new information at the ending. Fifthly, evoke emotions, whether it's a happy ending or a sad ending or a little bit of both. Let your reader feel something. Emotions make a story linger in a reader's mind, and that can make the difference between a good story and a bestseller. Finally, make sure your ending resolves the storyline. Write a strong ending that brings a sense of closure to the reader and ties up all loose ends in your story. Resolve all of the elements that you have introduced throughout your story. Ensure you haven't left any plot holes and wrap up the little details that linger in the reader's mind. For example, in the story of Harry Potter, the author can't just mention the existence of Big Evil or he who must not be named, which is Voldemort, but did not mention that Harry Potter kills Voldemort in the ending. So that's it from me today. I hope you guys understand what is conflict resolution in the story and you guys know how to write a good conflict resolution and also a good ending. So I wish you guys all the best in writing your story and I hope you can come up with a good conflict resolution and also an ending. Thank you. I hope it was very understandable and if you guys have any questions, you guys can ask your facies tomorrow. So thank you. Bye kids.